So what is trust? Trust is like the air we breathe. When it's present, nobody really notices. When it's absent, everybody notices. Why is trust so important to the bottom line? When trust goes up, speed goes up and cost goes down. High trust is a performance multiplier. It creates a dividend that increases the productivity of interactions. People are able to communicate more freely, and teams can break past common political correctness barriers and be disruptive as a team and grow more rapidly. Low trust. Low trust is a performance diminisher. It's like a wasted tax that creates miscommunication, redundancy, and rework. It increases how many steps have to be taken, it's time-consuming, and ultimately expensive. And it shuts people down from being themselves. So what else do you gain with trust? It grants you permission to give people directions. Like you guys gave me trust to guide you through this right now. Ben gave me a lot of trust to make sure I had this shit together this morning. He had no idea what I was even going to be putting on here, but I told him, don't worry, I got it. And he's like, cool, that's all I need, that's all I need to hear. It gets everyone aligned. It gives energy to getting the job done, because you know when things get kind of tough, you got to have that trust and that momentum together. And each time the team executes with excellence, it gets easier and easier to create trust in the future, creating an upward spiral of trust. So how do we create trust with employees? We have to inspire trust in these two key areas continuously. They have to trust that the company will survive and thrive so that they can stay focused on achieving results and want to stick around long term. And I'm going to stop on that one for a sec because, oh, my next one's going to be off the thing. Have you ever had one of those times where you kind of talk a little bit about the state of the business, where things are maybe a little tough, and obviously you have to kind of get all hands on deck when things get tough, but have you ever kind of found yourself exaggerating about how bad things are? Raise your hand if you've ever done that. Kind of, making people a little worried for their job, making people a little bit, scared that we don't know where we're going to be in 3 months, 6 months from now. How do you think that really makes them feel, Do you think that really builds trust with them, or do you think that makes them feel like a little bit nervous, like, maybe I should start looking at other jobs, and maybe they start to lose focus, and they don't have as much focus on your business and helping you grow it? And then number two, they have to trust in their manager so that they can add value in the most creative, collaborative way. Have you ever had a situation where either you or one of your managers is a little too tough on someone, and it's like kind of that feeling when daddy hit mommy at the dinner table and everyone's a little bit like awkward feeling, and you can't really get rid of that very easily. People
I just want to put it out there, I don't know that feeling. No. I see that in a movie with it.
I like to look at my water. Okay, I'm stealing water. I stole that from Dane Cook, actually, the comedian. Well, it's tough to get rid of that out of your mind. You get kind of, weird about it, and you get a little jaded, and you can't really forget about it so easily. So people hold on to stuff like that, and you got to realize if you want to build trust with people and have them contribute to your company, you got to take good care of how they feel about you and how you feel about them and all that. All right, so how do we create trust with joint venture and strategic alliance partners? We have to focus on these two areas. We need them to trust that we're competent. They're going to be relying on us for our side of the deal, whatever our deal is. We have to demonstrate that with a lot of different ways. If we have to give them references or examples of things that we've done in the past that show, hey, I can do what I'm saying I'm going to do. And then we need them to trust that we have good character. Instead of trying to rush into a deal, who has rushed into a deal trying to make something happen with someone and you didn't build rapport and you just kind of went right into it? Anybody? Yeah, a few people. Why do you think that happens?
Because you think you got honeymoon phase.
You're what?
That honeymoon phase, sorry, you think you have before because of the emotion of the deal coming. You get excited about the end result before you start investigating how you're actually going to get there.
You spend a lot more time thinking about it than they did. And you get all excited as if they know what's on your mind, and they probably don't. And they need to know that, hey, this guy has some similar things. They contribute to the community. They go to the same church or the same, whatever religion you are. And that stuff has to come first together with the competency and good character, because they have to feel like, okay, this guy can deliver, or woman can deliver on what they're promising, and they're a good person that I can trust.
Well, there's the incongruent expectations too.
What's that?
That you have an expectation of what this deal's supposed to be without actually clarifying that with
Yeah.
the person you're in business with.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as you get down the road, you start to figure out that
Yeah.
they're different.
There's all kinds of assumptions, yeah.
What was in your expectation?
In part 2 of this, when we get into later in the afternoon, we're going to go over some of relativity, how everyone's perspective is different. Okay, so before you jump into a deal, remember that which we want most urgently, we believe most easily. So don't ever let urgency or desperation guide your decisions when setting up deals with people you haven't fully vetted yet. You have anything to say about that one?
Yeah, definitely.
You had that light bulb look. If not, then... Well, I've had times when I'm like kind of wanting to do something quickly because of whatever my situation is, and I'm just like, throw caution in the wind. I'm not going to look into anything. I'm just going to go forward. And then I look back and I go, man, I actually didn't have the timeline I thought. I could have been more patient and kind of checked things out a little bit more.
Yeah, well, a lot of the earlier deals that I went into when I was first starting these contingency type deals, most of them didn't work out for one reason or another. And, going back to those two reasons, it was either because of incompetence on the other side or bad character or both. And so just for me, just doing deals and learning, each time I made a mistake, figuring out what it was that didn't make it work and try to improve upon that. But if I had your presentation like 10 years ago, maybe...
if you have any stories that you can tell us that won't burn anyone.
I got a story. So it was a few years ago now, but I got offered equity in a company with 3 other directors. And it looked like, from the outside, it looked good. It looked like the other people had a lot of experience in their industry, and it looked like it was a good thing. So we went into the deal. I got equity in the company. And, within a space of a few months, I realized that they didn't have the experience that they looked, that they...
what did they call you in for, the marketing?
Yeah, for marketing.
And what were they delivering?
So they were going to run the company. I was going to do the marketing.
Yeah, and was their delivery just crap?
Well, it was a combination of a couple of things. So the first thing was that all 3 of them were lazy. Because they had expectations that the business would take off a lot quicker than it did. I knew that the deals would take a lot longer to happen because of the nature of the finance industry. It takes a long time to land big deals. And, after a meeting, they said, we didn't realize it would be this hard and it would take this long. And I said, well, I knew from the outset that it would take this long and that it would be this hard. Yeah. And at that point, we dissolved the company because...
So you guys...
there was no commitment on their part.
That was a joint venture where you started a new one together, a new company together?
Yeah.
What would you have done different if you could go back in time?
I wouldn't have gone into business with them.
At all? Yeah. There's no way around it? You just shouldn't have gone in with them?
They were the wrong people. Yeah. I should have taken a lot more time to work with them.
Like little tests, maybe?
Yeah.
Like little small tests?
Yeah.
Someone once told me if you're going to do a deal with someone, invite them somewhere or do some small thing and see if they show up on time, see how they present themselves, and kind of do little tests and see how they go.